Hello, my name is Linda Clark. I am married to Gregory Clark, and together we have 6 beautiful children, 3 girls and 3 boys. I am an international recording artist, and I work in the federal government as an organizational management professional. I was born in Detroit, Michigan, and I was raised, ironically, in the South, in Greenville, Alabama.
My name is Dr. Vanessa Dunn Guyton. I am the Executive Director and founder of Hush No More, and I'm also the CEO and Executive Trainer for Consulting Experts and Associates. I have 6 children, and I am divorced. I was born in Sanford, Florida, and I grew up in Orlando.
My name is Kim Brown. I work for the federal government. I'm an HR executive. I'm married and I have 4 children, 2 daughters and twin boys, and 3 grandchildren with 1 on the way. So I was born in San Luis Obispo, California, and I grew up in Orange County, California, and then moved to Salinas, California when I was 9.
My name is Raina Everett, and I am a account executive at a healthcare technology company. I am single, and I have 2 children, Blake, who's 17, and Carrington, who's 9. So I was born in Lexington, South Carolina. I grew up in West Columbia, KC area.
Tiffany Kelly. I am a federal employee. I have 3 children, 3 grandchildren, and I have never been married, but soon to be, I think. I was born in Vero Beach, Florida, which is where the hospital was that was closest to where my family comes from. That's Wabasso, Florida, a very rural community in Florida, like on the east coast of Florida.
I was very outgoing as a child. I was a happy child, the life of the party, if you will. Similarly to now, I loved making people laugh. I loved getting the attention of others, whereby turning cartwheels, telling jokes, singing a song. I just love the joy of laughter, and however I can make people laugh, I would do that.
For me, it was difficult, different from a lot of my friends. It was what really created the woman that I am today. I grew up in a family that had a lot of domestic violence, a lot of crime, a lot of drugs. My mom and dad divorced when I was 7, so that was a lot of abuse in the home. My grandmother had 22 children, so my family is large, a very large family. And some were more nicer than others. A lot of unhappiness, a lot of trauma, but a lot of love.
Just thinking, the type of child I was growing up, thinking back, I feel like I was a very serious child. I don't remember having fun. I don't remember, I see pictures of myself having fun, looking like I'm having fun, but thinking about memories, especially in my younger years, I don't recall a whole lot of fun. I just recall being very serious, being very conscious, and feeling very responsible for anything and everything and everyone.
I would say as a child, I pretty much loving, always wanted to hang out with family, friends. I don't know, I was pretty much always trying to find my place. Grew up with cousins, so there were about 4 cousins that were around, my brother, and I was always trying to navigate the space because I grew up as the only girl in that era, so always trying to figure out, was I supposed to be around the older generation or the younger generation? So I grew up surrounded by family and trying to figure out where I fit in.
Very talkative, very intelligent, very curious. I remember hearing stories about myself watching, people would ask what did I want to watch on TV when they babysat me. And I would say National Geographic, which was not normal. And I remember my stepfather had a friend named, what was his name? Uncle Brown. And he got me a subscription to National Geographic, and I never knew why. But then when I started hearing stories about myself, that explained it. I would say very well liked by a lot of adults because they perceive me as being very intelligent. My peers, maybe not so much because I talk too much, according to them.
I didn't know what it was at that time. I just know my heart rate started increasing, or so I thought. I felt like I was hyperventilating, and a fear came over me like I had never known. And I thought my life was over, was going to be over.
And he had these large speaker systems in the room. So the music was super, super loud. And then I just said, this man is different. Like, he started looking at me different. Like, you know how you give somebody that look like they really like you or something? So I'm just getting kind of uncomfortable. And then the next thing I know, he was just on top of me. And I feel like he turned into a snake. I always describe his interaction with me was like a snake. Like, it was just wasn't nice. It was like all over me. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know, should I scream? But I knew nobody was going to hear me. And he took advantage. And so after he was done with his business, he was like, hey, you know, ain't nobody gonna believe you.
Losing my grandfather was like losing my soul. Yeah, up until then, he was the only person that I felt wanted to spend time with me. And that he was the only one that truly cared about me. And he cared about who I was as a person, even at that young age. He cared about what I wanted, and he cared about what I needed.
Later, when I was in high school, my parents separated again. And I think the second time that they separated, I felt as though I couldn't figure out where my, not loyalty, but where I fit in and whose side are you on. I always felt like you were picking a side because we would go between spending time with my mom and then we stayed with my dad. So we were always back and forth, and I would still say, and my parents did get back together again, and they separated for the third and final time. And I think that third and final time is where, as an adult, I really, learned about the reasons for the separations, and it kind of helped me put some things in perspective, that it wasn't me, it wasn't my fault, and it wasn't my brother's fault, but we were able to understand the decisions that my mom made, and she had to make decisions for her that were good for her.
Some of the hardest moments when I was growing up as a child would have been when my father left to go to the military when I was very young. He really made the best decision for himself, and we talk about that now. But nobody really explained it to me, and I remember crying. I knew he was leaving, and I begged him not to leave. And he kept saying, I have to, Daddy has to go. That was difficult. And it's almost like he died because I really didn't engage with my dad at the same level from that point moving forward. What else was tough? Interestingly enough, while I acknowledge that I did have to struggle with being parented by a mother who was out a lot, those things just seemed par for the course for my childhood. I don't really consider them tough, but they had to be. But it was just my existence.
One lesson I learned was that we have to eliminate the shame to heal. We have to forgive ourselves. We have to understand that it's not our fault what somebody did to us. It doesn't matter where you were, what you had on. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. So you have to get to that point. And also that it is your responsibility to start healing. It is your journey to make a change.
Even though I didn't experience certain healings when I thought I was going to, all through this journey that I've been on, there's been parts of it that's been healed. And it's because of Christ. It's because of who he's put in my life to help assist in that healing. And I want to be that assistance. I want to be able to help people find resources and connect them to people. I think that's huge in a community, is people just don't know where to go.
You can't live a fulfilled life. You know, you have the power to redefine your life at different phases based on what you've gone through. And so I have learned how to show up authentically as who I am and unapologetic. And that if I stumble, that doesn't mean that that's the end. I just have to take the time to figure out what is life trying to teach me, and how do I redefine through believing that God has given me these promises and these experiences, and I just have to walk them out.
Still learning. I have not figured it out. I look at my life and it's daunting to think about all the things I need to do. Sometimes I probably don't give myself enough credit. I think that's normal. I'm okay with being faulty. I don't need to be perfect. I am not okay with not being my authentic and best self.
If I listen to what my heart is trying to tell me, I would unapologetically be authentically me. I remember so many times we ask God to get us out of what we're going through. But it's in the going through that God will show us what we're really made of. And it's only when we come out of that storm that we're able to tell somebody about the God who brought us through the storm. And God is saying to us in those times, I'ma let you go through it, but I will be with you. I know you see the fire, but it won't hurt you. See, I am the Lord your God, and you're in the palm of my hands. It's all a part of the plans, so go through.